Yeah, and click on record. Lovely.
Okay, sorry, Haranji, go ahead.
In a later letter to Irene on 7th October 1970, Mehera wrote, "Talking of Switzerland brings vividly to mind our stay there with beloved Baba. I have tears in my eyes as I am writing, for I miss his beloved physical presence very much. I am facing beloved Baba's image on the Umar tree. The eyes of the image are distinctly seen shut, as if beloved Baba is tired and resting. Baba used to sometimes say he is very tired and would like to sleep for 700 years. Very soon, Mehra would realize how active Baba still is in the world."
And there's a picture of Mara. And January 31st, 1970. Another picture on January 31st, 1970. And then we have poetry. Who would like to pick up? How about Marge? I don't know. Nobody seems to be answering.
Oh, I'll be happy to
How about Ralph Jackson?
if you don't have another reader, Tina.
I can't see the text. I'm Tina.
Oh,
I
okay.
can't get the text window to show up. I'm sorry. I don't know
Okay.
what's the deal. I'm on my phone, which I'm not
Maybe
that
that's what-
accustomed to it.
Okay, well, why don't you go on, Eugene?
Yeah, okay. Rolf, if you use two fingers on your screen to enlarge the text, that might help. Despite the appearance of Meher Baba's image on the tree,
Oh yeah.
for the
Well, let me turn the phone horizontally. Despite the appearance of Meher Baba's image on the tree, for the first time,
For the first few years.
for the first few years after he dropped his body, Mara could not say Baba's name without tears coming to her eyes. Her eyes were always swollen from crying. Sheila observed Mara would start saying something and not be able to get past Baba and break into tears. Only after several years did she become more composed. After returning to Marazat from the last darshan in 1969, Meru confided, "We all still felt the great void in our lives, the absence of beloved Baba's physical presence. He was the focus of our lives, and the emptiness we felt was indescribable." So how much greater it was for Mara herself, who was like a lost child. The moment she was by herself. Whoa, what's happening?
I just
Oh,
scrolled down a little bit.
Are you allowing me to do the scrolling?
No, I have to do it.
Break into tears. Well, okay. Point, you're losing me, Tina.
I don't know why.
Well, the text keeps moving.
Well, I have to scroll down, otherwise you can't see it.
Well, can you point to where we left off? During those first 2 years, there were visitors coming. Is that the correct place?
You can start there.
Baba. Now I lost that place. That sentence is gone.
You don't have it?
During our, here we go. Now don't move anything, please. During those first 2 years, there were visitors coming now and then, and some from Ahmednagar, like the Kalchuris, Kokila, Tiwari, and the Akbar Press family, whom we knew well, were more regular. Whenever they came, Mehera was encouraged to participate in being with them. We felt it helped Mehera to be with them and talk, and hear them talk of their love and relationship with Baba. Knowing how difficult it was to come to Mehera in those days before auto rickshaws, we often asked them to have lunch with us, the women and children on our side, and the men with the mandali. So in the first year or two, before pilgrims started coming, first in trickles and then in waves, we had more time to be with these local Baba lovers. Sheila went to Mehera to keep Mehera company as often as possible, usually on Sunday, when she had a holiday from school. Many times she found Mehera alone in Baba's bedroom, speaking to him. In fact, Mehera was conversing with Baba's bed so naturally that Sheila asked her one day whether she saw Baba there. Mehera revealed that she did. Sheila elaborated. It happened all of a sudden. Mehera had been crying so much during the months that Baba dropped his body. I felt that she wouldn't survive. Then suddenly I noticed that her happiness had returned. She was energetic once more. When I helped her clean Baba's bedroom, she spoke to Baba as if he were actually lying on the bed or sitting in the chair. I asked her if she saw Baba, and she said that she did, but she made me promise not to tell anyone then. I don't think Mehera spoke of this to anyone else, and it must have stopped gradually after some time as Mehera grew stronger. Though I never saw Baba there, once in a while, a strong fragrance of roses wafted through the room.
Okay, thank you, Ralph. Eugene or Marge, do you want to pick up?
Sure, if Marge is not available.
I don't know what Marge is doing.
So the strong smell of the rose was indicating his presence.
Mhm.
Mehera smelt it too, although she said she could not smell anything else. Oh, that's right. She lost her sense of smell in the Prague, Oklahoma accident.
Right.
In all the years that the author taped Mehera for this book, she never once mentioned seeing Baba in form after he dropped his body. It is therefore probable that Mehera had no memory of it. Baba's grace, it appears, was meant to comfort her through that very difficult period in 1969 to 70, 1969 to 70. And once it had served its purpose, there was no need for Mehera to dwell on it. So
Okay,
back to the top.
mhm.
One year after Meher Baba dropped his body, approximately 1,700 lovers gathered on Mehrabad Hill for the first Amartiti on 31 January 1970. With Mani at her elbow, Mehera stepped to the microphone and, fighting back tears, she read out this address. "O beloved one, our beloved avatar Meher Baba, we, your loving children, have gathered today at Mehrabad to fill our hearts with your love on this most sacred hill on earth where your man form rests. We have also come to pay our homage to you and to greet you in the hearts of your lovers. May we be worthy of your very dear love for us. Your compassion is our strength, which sustains us. Your love is our life. It is yours. May we hold on to your Daman in complete surrender to your will. Dear Meher pilgrims, we are all gathered here in love to pay homage to Avatar Meher Baba, our divine beloved, who loves us more than we can ever love ourselves. Let us forever not only say it with our lips, but live it in our hearts, so that our lives become a living testimony to his victory. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. During the winter of 1969-70, the women went to Mehrabad and removed all of Baba's clothing from the trunks kept in Mehera's room there, such as dressing gowns from Baba's Western trips and other things he had not used in years. His clothes were rewashed and ironed, and any holes and tears in the sadras darned. His many pairs of sandals were taken out also. I wonder how many pairs of sandals. Oil was applied to the leather so that it would not dry out. Everything was then repacked and kept away. When they went to Guru Prasad that summer, they did the same thing there, cleaned out all the cupboards and any trunks that had been stored there. In 1969, we had been too rushed with darshan to see anything in the hot summer days, Mehera explained. We went back to Guru Prasad for a few days in 1970 to pick up Baba's things. His pink coats had been kept in the cupboards. I didn't have them washed, and I'm glad I didn't, as they still have Baba's fragrance. And there's an asterisk there, starred, and it says, Goher wrote to Adele, 10 January 1970. From this year on, we won't be visiting Guru Prasad during the summer. We will be staying at Meherazad. There's no point in our going to Guru Prasad, as there will be no more darshans held there. So henceforth, Baba lovers will visit Guru Prasad as Meher pilgrims to pay homage. Guru Prasad is no more a place for darshan, but is a place of sacred pilgrimage.
Okay. Can you go back to at Meherazad?
At Meherazad also, the women cleaned and preserved things which Baba had used. We must take care of the things Baba has used for the Baba lovers who come in the future, Mehera stated. In his physical form, Baba has used and touched all these things at Meherazad, so they are sacred. Till the very last, Baba has lived here. Meru explained that this work held particular significance for them. During the time Baba was in our midst, the work he did, the darshan programs he gave, his vitality, his love, his very presence were overwhelming, much larger than life. So it was impossible to think of a life without him. Never without him. Meru corrected herself, but without his physical form. After Baba dropped his body, all his close mandali found it almost impossible to pick up the threads of life and feel our way out of the darkness of despair and pain. For us women mandali, willing ourselves to be useful and thinking of what would console Mehera, looking through Baba's articles, helped a great deal. Just to touch his clothes was to feel his closeness, especially for Mehera. She would very willingly be involved in the work. But we often noticed her sitting motionless, a sadra or a coat in her lap, in deep reverie. And the side note says, Mani's, quote, despair and pain can almost be felt in this letter to Carrie Ben Shammai, dated 5 June 1970. Our silence is never of the heart, only of the pen, which I very seldom pick up for writing a letter. His will be done, and may we always bow to it. We did not go to Guru Prasad for this summer, which we spent in Meherazad. And beloved Baba made the heat quite tolerable by pouring his showers of rain at timely periods. Does it scroll down a little more? Yeah. We are all well and busy as ever in various Baba ways. His love sustains our hearts with courage and strength, which he alone can give. He is indeed our compassionate Father.
Okay, so we'll go back. I'm not sure where
I
you
think it's
were.
almost to the top of the page. It's almost the top, yeah. Little more, I think. Little more.
Which way?
A little more, yeah. Okay, here we go. So Asadra or coat in her lap, in deep reverie, silent tears running down her cheeks. Here's a good place to switch readers if you have a reader, or you, Tina.
Okay, or Rosalie. Rosalie, do you want to pick up?
Another time, Meru reflected. In 69 and the early 70s, the anguish of separation from her beloved was overwhelming for Mera. During the day, she tried to occupy herself with work related to Baba, taking care of his room, his personal things, and so on. And we visited Mehrabad frequently for darshan and would stay to look over Baba's things that had been stored in the East Room. Involvement in all this helped, but the moment she was by herself, much as she tried not to, Mera would break down. As Meru said, the women continued to visit Mehrabad for darshan. During the first few years, whenever they went to Baba's tomb, they spent the entire day there, taking lunch with them. In the evening, Mansari served tea and bhajia. Once, when Mera walked through the hall at Lower Mehrabad, where Muhammad Must stayed, the Must remarked in Marathi, Dadachi Ladaki, which means Baba's favorite or Baba's loved one. Gradually, to the Mandali's surprise, the number of visitors increased. After Baba dropped his body, Mani said, we thought the 69 darshan at Guru Prasad was it. We didn't know his lovers would be coming to Mehrabad and Merazad. I was quite scared at first. Others probably were too. We were totally unprepared for anything like the darshan in 69. We were totally unknowing of even one step of the future. We have witnessed from then on the way in which Baba does his own work, the way in which he has been directing and conducting it, the way things are unfolding and are being revealed is a constant presence, his presence. Before we went to Pune in 69, we had this feeling like a package that's been tied. Suddenly, the strings become loose and everything gets scattered out. We had that feeling with Merazad. We felt suddenly that this is a property. It's a big place. It's also scattered. Whereas Baba's physical presence made it come together so compactly, like a house, a home. Now, when Baba dropped his body, it was as if the parcel had been undone and everything was scattered. We had a conference and decided that when we came back, we would close so many of the rooms. We'll have to retire so many of the servants, staff, domestic help. We were very happy with the thought that we were going to do all that. When we came back from Pune, suddenly we wanted to expand. It all seemed so compact, really. You want me to read the sidebar?
Oh, I
Right.
thought you read that. Didn't you read that?
I don't remember. I didn't think I,
Yeah, well, you said something about Carrie Ben Shammai.
no, it was Eugene.
Oh, Eugene read
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, we don't need to read it again. You want to go
Okay.
on?
Where are we? I think you went too far. When we came back from Pune, suddenly we wanted to expand. It all seemed so compact, really. So we built this veranda outside of Mandali Hall. This bathroom across from Oliver's kitchen. Gohara, like each of the Mandali, had been deeply affected by Baba's passing, but she felt partly responsible. I was shocked after Baba dropped his body, thinking of what use was medicine when it couldn't relieve, comfort, or help Baba in his suffering. I lost all faith in medicine. I didn't want to see or have anything to do with medicine. I hated myself. I hated the medical profession. I gave away all the medicine stockpiled at Mehera-Meher to the Salvation Army, Booth Hospital, and others in the area. Yet, Gohar continued to treat those living at Mehera-Meher. She felt a deep responsibility, especially to look after Mehera's health. During the first few years, whenever Gohar was away from Mehera-Meher, even if we're only to the Ahmednagar Bazaar for shopping, she was always restless to return, to be near Mehera in case something happened while she was away. Moreover, there were the orders that Baba had given regarding Mehera, which were still strictly adhered to. It was Baba's order, for example, that Mehera was not to be left alone in the house. Mani was at the trust office much of the time. If Gohar too went somewhere, Nehru was to be in the house at hand, and vice versa. Someone was to be near Mehera, within calling distance, at all times. If Mani had to go to Pune overnight, Nehru slept in Mehera's bedroom, with Gohar nearby in the adjoining room, as usual. As sidebars, Mani became the chairman of the Avatar Meher Baba Trust in 1972, a position she held until her death in 1996. Gradually, Mehera was able to meet the visitors who came. Even so, many times she became so emotional that Nehru or Gohar had to lead her inside from the veranda to allow her to compose herself. Here is how Hilla Kotwal Talwar described Mehera's state. I can never forget the pain in her beautiful eyes, the pain of separation. And we, who had seen her radiance and joy when her beloved was with her, found it unbearable to gaze at her then, for the sparkle of the stars in her eyes had faded. The Mehera we knew was never the same again, though her sweetness, gentleness, and humor were always there. We all felt beloved Baba's presence very strongly through Mehera. On a personal note, Hilla continued, I had a particular problem and told Mehera about it. She listened so patiently to all I said and was genuinely concerned. When I saw her the following year, she told me she had personally prayed to beloved Baba. And lo and behold, the problem was solved. I was so deeply touched to think that she prayed for me. But Sweet Mara was like that, genuinely concerned for one and all who came to her and poured out their problems. Nevertheless, at other times when someone mentioned some trouble or suffering, Mara pointed out, remember, Baba suffered so much. When we remember his suffering, it dwarfs all of our own. No matter what, ours becomes petty by comparison. So it is always good when in the midst of our suffering to remember how much Baba suffered, not for himself, but for others.
Yes, thank you, Rosalie. I think we'll stop here because it's 3 o'clock. Oh, Kathy is here. I didn't know you were here. And welcome.
Thank you.
Is this your first time here?
Yes, it is. I lent my copy of the books to my friend, and so I was just seeing how if I could read on the screen, and yeah, I hope to be able to come another time too.
Yeah, we're here every week.
Okay,
So thank you for coming.
you're welcome.
Anybody else want to say anything? No? Okay, well, we'll sign off then.
Thanks for reading, everybody. That was great. It was
Yeah,
great to have you here, Rosalie, to hear you read. Yeah. And Rolf too. Thank you. And Haranji.
I
Thank
give
you. I'm wondering
Thank
if
you all.
has anyone heard more? Has Phyllis, what Tina said you said last night? Did you saw it on Facebook, right, about Phyllis Ott? But
yeah.
I haven't been able to
Facebook.
get any confirmation from it. No one seems to know.
Cheryl Aof Johnson put it on there.
Who did?
Cheryl Aof Johnson.
There was another email that went
That's
out.
probably that's probably Phyllis's granddaughter, by her daughter, Betsy.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Well,
then
Jeff
Tina
didn't know
Elizabeth.
anything about it, and he had just said he had just spoken with her granddaughters, and they didn't mention, so he didn't know whether how the accuracy. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
There was an email that came out to the Chapel Hill Baba group email list that she had passed and that she was with Baba. I didn't see who had informed Carol Werner, who sends out the email.
Yeah. Okay,
Thank
well,
you.
All
Thank
right.
you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Jai Baba.
Hey, Baba.